Yes, good afternoon, dear viewers from diaspora, from Uganda, from Masindi. We are here live in Masindi town, the heart of Masindi, the municipality, soon to be a city. Yes, well, we are anticipating Masindi to be a city. That's why we come to you from ElkemTV studio live to teach you the things pertaining with law, so that when the city comes, you know how to use the city.
Okay.
Because
So is there
majorly the houses are always different.
okay.
Issuance of plans, fees, they are different. Eh? Even now, the governance of a city is different from a municipal and a town council.
That
Yeah.
is one thing I didn't know. Thank you.
My name is called Ahumuza Emmanuel. I'm a lawyer, I'm a counsel. Together with me today, I have a beautiful lady by the names of Prudence Lukoye. See where wow.
We are going to be fighting every time I am in the studio.
Elinyelio,
Because you failed to pronounce my name.
I pray the Spirit of God to the peace of God. Akoye na Lukoye. That's the name. What does it mean?
Okay. What does Muhumuza mean?
Comforter.
Comfort.
Yes.
So Lukoye is something beautiful.
Something beautiful. Well, wow, now Muchiraba, you can see the beautiful thing here today. Wow, today our topic is, we are looking at what is the issue, actually what is the way forward for condominiums in Uganda. Since I was born, I've been seeing, actually I saw this for the first time when I went to school.
Okay. And that should have been at LDC.
LDC, yes.
That is even after, way after law
After
school.
law school, the 4
4 years of law
years,
school.
then you go to LDC. We call it the military of law.
The place for the lion hunters.
The place for lion hunters.
Yeah.
Eh?
And the gatekeeper is there.
The gatekeeper is there. You know him.
Yeah, the gatekeeper is there. Only that he changed now. We
Prince,
have,
our
I
prince.
don't know who I don't know who. And then the prince, who you have to bow and say,
The
good
prince of
afternoon, my
Busoga.
prince.
Yes. Where is
The
that?
prince of Busoga, and some of us had issues. Or you are
Abasoga
a
mwena
Munyoro.
tubatumideko.
But you see how you have to bow before the Basoga. Because you have their own prince in the house. Eh? Regards to Prince Wambuga.
Wambuga, wherever you are, we salute you, sir.
Yes.
Senior counsel, and also there's another senior counsel from Busoga called Henry Kunya.
Henry Kunya.
Now he has retired from teaching profession in our LDC. I also want to thank so much Ikanza, Linda Nalongo.
Alinda.
She did a great work.
You're mentioning only people from Busoga. Looks like you have an interest in Busoga.
I was almost.
You should be having an interest of the Busoga family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many others, Esther and the rest of those, our peers in LDC. Salute, you have done a great work in us. We are what we are because of you guys. You have shaped us.
You have forgotten Annette Mtalingo?
She's retired also, by the way.
But she's have.
Karongi, Madam
Yes.
Karongi, Senior Counsel Karongi,
Yes, she's
Annette
now with
Mtabingwa.
Sangala and Company Advocates.
So
She's
we also
actually now
greet
back
you.
to private practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And many others. We shall be naming you with time as we remember you.
You see, when I give you time to mention your teachers,
Yes.
to educate them about what we call condominium properties.
Yes.
And when we talk about condominium properties, someone will be asking, what is condominium properties? Eh? And then those who know me will be saying, again, Council, what have you brought for us today? What are the things you're talking about?
Just I'm unwrapping the package.
Very good. So
Today,
condominium properties is simply condominium properties.
I
I don't think it has, does condominium
It
properties
must.
have a Uganda name?
Uganda name? Naye lwaki Uganda luka? Ate lunyolo lwenye mteri.
Does it have a Runyoro name?
I don't know.
Why I'm
Erugishu.
asking of other names is because
When I learned here about express properties, I only heard it in the history of Idi Amin.
okay.
But now I learned it more and detailed.
Okay.
Like how even IP,
Mm-hmm.
IP, I also, there's another topic in commercial transaction. I think I will remember it, I will address it to you later. Happy New
Okay.
Year.
So
Today, I want to invite our guest, who is not a lawyer, to understand what is a condominium.
yes. So when we are talking about condominium properties, we are simply talking about the fact that there is property, whether residential or commercial property, and this property and each of these smaller units is owned by a separate entity.
Yeah.
For instance, just like I told you last week,
Mm.
I have my flat, and on my flat, I give Council Emma only the bathroom. Yes.
Producer waffe.
And I gave my handsome man behind the camera
Mama,
only the corridor.
nange wekubireko obugalo wekamera.
And in giving them this, they have like that, they are the owners of these properties.
Oh, yes.
You
Oh, yes.
understand? So, what do I mean? By separate entities, I mean council is going to own his property and have the title for the bathroom space. That is what he owns. And then I'll have my beautiful cameraman behind there owning the corridor.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that is the corridor, the small corridor. That is where he owns, and he has a title for what? For that particular space.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Condominium property is not so common in Uganda. And
Mostly
I
in
think
Africa.
actually in Africa, but it is so common in developed areas like China, you know, like Europe, where you will find an individual owning land, and then they have a building on that land, and then maybe that building has about 5 owners. You understand? 5 owners. One person is owning the ground floor, another person is owning the middle, and then another person owns, you know, the upper flat or the upper level. And then to some extent, you may find it is another person owning the space above the building.
Oh, wow.
Or another person may even own the space below the building. Gone are the days when landlord told us that that land comprises everything below and above. You understand?
Oh, yes.
So that means with the developments in land law, like condominium properties, you can have different owners for the different parts of the same land.
Okay.
You understand? Where
So,
you will own.
Do you mean to tell me in a condominium property that each person owning an interest of a space must own a title?
Yes. Yes. You have separate titles. Your title is different from my title. You understand?
Those sharing the same space.
Yes. Of course, we have what we call common areas. Common areas which are shared amongst or between the owners or the occupiers of a particular land. Actually, we call them condos.
Condos.
Yes.
Right about condos.
No. We call them condos, not in the vernacular, because we looked for a vernacular word for condominiums and we failed. So we are still speaking English.
Okay.
Yes, and we are calling them condos.
Oh, yes.
And with these condos, it means that there are particular areas which are shared amongst or between all other property owners. For instance, there are corridors, the parking lot, you know, there are staircases, the gardens, you know, that whereas you are owning your room and you have a title for your room, there is a joint interest with you and another person over properties like the gardens, you know, pathways,
So
corridors.
you mean to say there's an element of easement, if I may say?
Yes, for lack of a better word, but condo in condominium properties we don't call them easements.
Okay.
In condominium property we call them common areas.
Meaning that the common areas you all have right to.
Very good.
However much, it's like, for example, the condo units can be like those who are in the boarding, cubicles.
Mm-hmm.
You have a cubicle,
Mm.
and your space is a window,
Mm-hmm.
but and a corridor. So the corridor does not belong to anyone, but
Yeah.
it's a unifying factor. You own it jointly.
Where you pass to access your cubicle,
your
like
room.
you have called
Mm.
them,
Mm.
is not owned by you. You
Okay.
understand?
Mm.
There are common areas like maybe facilities like water,
Mm.
yeah,
Sewage lines.
sewage lines, where maybe
Electricity.
that means where maybe not everybody has their own.
Mm.
Of course, with recent developments, even
Mm.
power, everybody has their own,
Mm.
their own yaka meters where they can load us and when they feel okay.
Okay.
But of course, if there are things like this are not in two places, that
Mm.
means you're going to share them with other property owners.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, what's the way forward of condos in Uganda?
Mm.
How would you think this new thing, people are perceiving it? Is it a hot cake? Is it something like a new breed?
Mm. You see, when you look at condominium properties, it is a new development. It is a current development, and I would actually applaud whoever can, invest their money in condominium properties to do the same. Because one reason is that it is affordable. Yeah, condominium properties come with affordability. That where you would be required to buy a whole flat of maybe 300 million, this flat will be subdivided, and then maybe you can even get a unit or a condo of your own at maybe as low as 30 million or 50 million, or, according to your capacity as an individual.
Okay.
So it is easy. It is easier. And another issue that comes with condominium properties is the maintenance becomes easy because everybody has a role to play. You understand? Everybody has a role to play, and so you don't have to be burdened so much with
the responsibility, the cost alone,
with the entire facility
and expenditures.
Yes, and
so
expenditures.
do you mean that one now is taking me to an issue called corporations? What's the purpose of corporations under condominiums?
Now, when you talk about corporations under condominium, this is what
it a legal
governs.
thing?
It is.
Is it a must that it should happen? Should be there?
It is, because when we talk about a constitution, like when we talk about things like articles of association, a constitution, or an agreement, actually.
Dear viewers, a commercial break for a small hour. We shall be back. Please stay tuned as we come back. Thank you. Yes, I will be back from the commercial break. We are still discussing the way forward of condominiums in Uganda. We were still talking about an issue to deal with condominiums, their functions, how can they be established in Uganda, and sooner or later we shall also talk about what governs the condominiums. Because many people, condominiums are very different from these other industrial areas. Like for example, when you're going to establish an industry in Uganda, the procedure is you must fulfill or you must comply with the environmental laws. You get it? All
Get the
environmental
assessment.
laws, assessment, EIAs, blah, blah, blah. But with condos, to my understanding, then you have got to establish a corporation. Isn't it?
True.
A corporation is a legal entity. It's like a company. So I want you to help the viewers outside to understand what is the purpose of that corporation in the condos.
Just like we were discussing before we took the commercial break, we were saying that this corporation is like a constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you know how we have articles of association for a company, and how we have rules that are governing a particular setting of people or an agreement. That is the same thing.
Okay.
That is going to happen.
Your microphone,
in a
please.
corporation. I don't know if I am now clear.
Yeah.
So that simply means that when we talk about the corporation, it has to entail many of the things, but of course, some of the things that must be included in the corporation are the corporation name. That before you register your corporation, you must have a name. You come up with a name. Let's say Ambitious Crude Condominium Properties.
As usual, ambitious, okay?
Yes. Ambitious Fruit Condominium Properties. That is the name
Let's
that we
company
are
name.
going to
Corporate name.
register. Hallelujah.
I mean,
Because you see, I've started going to church for service.
I see you.
Okay, so after getting your name, you now talk about the membership. Okay, like who are the people, who are the property owners that are intending to put their property under condominium properties.
In other words, those are like in a company setting, they're like shareholders.
Very good.
Thank you.
The shareholders. Or they are actually even members. Yes. So thereafter you need to have the rules and regulations. Yes. How do you intend the condominium properties to be run? How many units do you expect to have been created in the property that you have submitted?
Okay.
And then you must also know the functions of every shareholder or of every condo owner. What is expected of them?
Okay.
What are their obligations and what are they
Asking you about the question. Maybe kindly briefly tell us what are those rights of the members?
For instance, there is we were just talking about easements. We talked of an easement and we said that an easement is a right, isn't it? So as condo owners, you all have a right to use property that is deemed common properties.
Okay.
Just like when you're making your corporation, you must identify what you intend to be common areas and then what you intend to be individual units for the different shareholders.
Oh.
Yes. That now gives you a right and an obligation. So you must know that, okay, if I have a right to utilize maybe the corridor or the gardens, then it must be used in regard to other people's rights. That you do not have to violate the rights of other people just because for you want to do what? To enjoy.
It's like, for example, noise pollution.
So when you start, it is not accepted for you to start making noise for other condo owners. Actually, they would even open up
A suit
case
against you.
against you.
Mm.
And that case will be against the corporation.
Mm.
It is not against the individual. They will put it
Oh.
against the corporation because it is now the corporation that is governing the people. You understand?
So
Then-
kusimba wakati yao. Wana watu, this is a very interesting part. That in condo, what you're trying to say, the owners or the responsibility is shifts from
Yes.
individualism to corporation.
Yes.
Meaning that an affected member of the corporation sues the corporation.
You sue the corporation.
That means, that's why I started asking you, is the corporation a legal person?
It is a legal entity.
So in other
It is
words,
a company.
whoever breaches anything,
Yes.
it's actually
It is
also
actually breached against
the corporation.
the corporation.
So it means that the principle of vicarious liability applies.
It does.
Okay.
Not vicarious liability.
Uh-huh.
No. Vicarious liability means
Mm.
my boss shields my responsibility. You understand?
Exactly.
But here we are having the corporation as a standalone.
That's why I'm
itself
asking.
As
That's
a
why
legal
I'm
entity.
sharing and asking. You have said that once any breach happens in a corporation, you don't sue an individual
You
or a
don't.
member. That means you sue the corporation.
Yes.
The corporation which did not commit a crime, but is the one who takes up the blame. So that's what I was saying you, that would I be right to say that the principle of vicarious liability, that your boss takes the blame, not you, the worker.
Okay. So you want the corporation, you want this corporation to be your boss.
Of course, now the corporation is your boss because it governs you. It gives the laws, the do's and don'ts, right? So once it gives you the do's and don'ts, that means you abide by what it says. If you
Maybe
breach
for lack
them,
of a better word anyway,
Okay.
we can say the principle of vicarious liability also comes into play. Yeah, we could say that.
okay. All right. Then now, when does termination of, because now this is a contract, right? When does a contract, or does a member terminates his membership
In the condo,
in a condo?
you can choose to sell off your interest.
Okay.
You can choose
One
to
is
sell off
lawfully
your
selling
interest.
off your interest.
Yes.
Number two,
Number two, the owner of the condominium property can choose to deregister the corporation.
Pardon,
You can choose to deregister.
the owner proprietor of the
owner
piece of
that-
land
Yes.
can choose to deregister. What do you mean by the
You
deregistering?
see, when a company is
Established.
operating,
Mm.
it is already established, business is going on.
Mm.
There are times when the owner of the company feels like, I think I can now wind
Mm.
this company.
Wind
you
up.
understand?
Mm.
So you choose to wind up. And
Voluntarily.
just like, yes, voluntary winding up. And
Okay.
just like, winding up of a company, you can also wind up this condominium property.
Okay, so those are so far two, either voluntarily or
Of course, you can choose to sell it off.
to sell it off.
Yes.
Is there any other way where you can terminate your membership?
Maybe maybe you can choose to enter a partnership.
With another person? That would that also go back to paperwork?
Definitely. When you choose to let go of something, it doesn't mean maybe now you will not have paperwork that is involved. You can choose to change the plan. Yes, you can choose to change the plan. You can choose. I don't want to say death
Help
because
me, your mic up, excuse me. Yes.
death, death does not terminate a condominium property because a corporation is a legal entity
So meaning it can
that
be passed
can
on.
survive even with the death of the owners as a company. Yes.
Now, before we go to the next step, that's a very pivotal point to discuss on.
Yes.
I've been a member of a condo. Now I pass on. What happens when I pass on?
What happens when you pass
Because
on?
I bought the interests, and my interests don't have expiry date. They only expire under conditions. Conditions that are legally binding. Now I'm dead. Take for example, I have children. I have a wife.
Yes.
So what happens
when you
in
die,
that event? Yes.
When you die, just like I was saying, that condominium property does not die with the owner. It makes part and parcel of the estate of the deceased. That simply means that if I, Prudence, died today, God forbid, because I am not ready to die.
Yes.
Yes, I still have many things to do before I die.
Okay.
So God, don't call me now, but I will come.
Nor do I want to go now.
Yeah, so what we are saying is that when we talk about condominium property, it is now your property. It is part and parcel of the estate of the deceased. That is in the estate, in the circumstances of death. And that simply means that this property can be passed on to the estate of the deceased, and the administrators can actually take on this property.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, as one of the
viewers,
properties.
I think this is very good, and you have heard it from the horse's mouth, that a condo can be passed on. It's like any other land. So long, because in a condo you get your title as a unit member, right? So a unit member, you own a title on the same very land. You can be even 100 depending on the units that are constructed in a plan, right? So it means that once someone dies who has been a member, the family can still take on and register, not register, but register their names to whoever maybe is a administrator, the register, or
you
sell
don't
it
register
off.
In the names of the administrator, you register in the names of the estate.
Or the estate.
Yes.
Okay.
Or as administrators of the estate of the late.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very good. Oh, viewers, we are still discussing what is the way forward. The way forward of condominiums in Uganda. Really, as you can hear, the condominium is a very unique and a very new term to most of the viewers I know outside there. Some of you, when you see condominiums, now you're going to dictionary asking, what's a dictionary? What is it? We already discussed and introduced to you that the condominium is just a system of separate ownership of individual units, right? Of which are designated for common ownership solely by owners of those units. And each member of the unit, we said, acquires a title. And by law, under RTA, a title is a conclusive evidence. So now, Council Prudence,
Yes.
how do I create a condo?
Yes, when you want to create a condo, you must first of all have property.
Okay.
Last week I remember I was telling our dear viewers that you see, when we are talking about land, we are not talking about tomatoes. We are not talking about, we are not talking about watermelon that you're going to walk to the market and you buy.
Just pick.
You understand? And because these are sensitive issues, you see, we don't want to deal with someone who just is imagining to have land in their heart or in their mind. That you see, I am hoping to have a piece of land in this time. Or you have had pieces of land, but in your dreams. You understand? So when we are talking about land property, now we are talking about these principles of land applying. It starts with you owning the piece of
land.
Yes. So
in other words, number one,
do you have the piece of land?
The question you have to ask yourself, do I have a piece of land?
Or do you have the property actually?
Or do you have a property?
You may have a piece of land, but you don't have property.
I think viewers, let's go step by step, because this is a very sensitive procedure or step we are going in. The first step, as our discussant has told us, is first own a property.
Yes.
First own the land. Okay. If I'm owning the property, in whose name should it be?
It must be the names of the property owner.
Thank you so much.
The developer of the plan.
I didn't want to say it, but I wanted the viewers to understand that what the land should contain, it should be your name. What's the next step? How do I create it? Yes.
You must prepare what we call a condominium plan, which includes all the details, you know.
Who prepares the condominium plans? Is it you, the owner of the land, or?
No. For us, we are lawyers. And we do everything.
I thought it is the surveyor who prepares. Okay.
No. You
So
prepare.
educate our viewers.
You prepare.
Mm.
You prepare the land.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You prepare a condominium plan,
Mm.
which must have all the details, the description. You know, it must have all essential features.
Mm.
You must indicate where is what
Mm.
on your property. You understand?
Mm.
Then you must have a deed. You draft something.
Maybe
that
before you go to a deed. That means before what you mean by indicating what, you could be having, let me say, an acre. And in your title, in your plan, your condominium plan, you have to specify either I'm going to use maybe 100 by 100 feet for a condominium plan. Is that what you're trying to mean?
What I want to mean is, maybe that is part of what I want to mean. But what I want to mean is, I have my building as
Or maybe you have a land.
I
Because
have
initially, I believe the land is vacant and you're just creating a new thing on another.
No,
Okay?
you could have a building.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
And just turn it.
You could have a building like Azinduka, and I want to turn my Azinduka house there
To a
to
condo.
a condominium property.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
that means that I am going to write a condominium plan describing that the stairs are here, you know, that in this property the exit is here. This is where you enter through from. This is where you enter from, and that the bathroom is here, the toilet is here, this room is here. There are you know, such and such a number of rooms up. You understand?
Oh, yes.
That the lower level has 5 rooms. The upper level has, let's say, these rooms. You understand? That is what we are talking about. All the essential features. If it has a swimming pool, you're going to tell them that it has a swimming pool just as you enter or behind the building. Those are the features I am talking about. Yes.
Then another step.
You have to get what we call the deed.
The deed
of
plan.
declaration.
The declaration, yes.
In this declaration, it means you're going to outline the duties and responsibilities of everyone as the condo owners or as the members of the condominium.
In a nutshell, as the landlord.
The landlord?
When you say the condo owners, I'm talking in the simplest
The
term.
landlords, because now here there are going to be many landlords.
So for you, it could be the landlord of landlords.
Yes.
In a
now,
simple term.
So you're writing a deed of declaration. You are declaring the rules and regulations.
That will govern you.
Thereafter, you must develop the laws that are going to run the condominium
property.
Yes, I don't know if I am clear enough.
Oh, yes. Is there any issue of, because I see when you look at the laws of Uganda, by the way, a condo is governed by a Condominium Property Act
of 2021.
of 2021.
No, of 2001.
2001.
Yeah, sorry.
2001. As there have been amendments.
Of course, with
the
necessary
laws,
amendments,
500, is it 500 laws?
but of course the parent law is 2001.
2001. So when you look at the section 3, it talks about that by registering, you create the property by registering with the registrar a condominium plan in accordance with the law, as you have specified. Then number 2, section 3.2 talks about the plan must be presented in a quadruplicate and must indicate a number of units to which the building is divided. You have talked about the number of units. So you must, what you're saying, you must present the 4 copies to the registrar of your condominium plan.
Yes.
They did what? They did what?
The condominium plan.
Yes.
Exactly, the condominium plan.
Yes. You have to submit 4 copies to the registrar. Then when I was looking at the section 4, says that the registrar to give each unit a certificate of title.
Yes.
Is that so?
Yes, that happens, of course, after you have now registered. No, actually, after you have now submitted your documentation that are necessary, and then now the role of the registrar is to now apportion to apportion every unit.
Unit
that you
and give it a
intend
title.
And give it a title.
Okay. Okay. Dear viewers, we are so delighted. Our topic is moving in. I'm enjoying. I'm learning for free course, like as you viewers where you are, except you are buying data, me I put myself here. So let's go for a commercial break. As we come back, we are going to continue with how to create a condo and what must accompany a condominium plan. Thank you. We'll be back, our dear viewers. At the same time, listeners, I know some of you listen through iPods. I don't let me first rest that as listen is important. I don't want to miss
that. Don't see.
And I don't see, yeah, it happens.
Okay.
I mean, do you ever watch a movie when you're snoring? Oh, that was a bite of a joke. So,
okay.
We have been discussing how to create a condo, and most of the steps have been mentioned. But we wanted to talk about what should accompany a condominium plan. And by law, those who have your acts, we are into condominium plan is governed majorly by a Condominium Property Act of Uganda, a Physical Planning Act. Even the Condominium Planning Act also has the regulations.
And even the RTA,
the Registration of Titles Act. Yes.
But for today's topic, of today's interest, we are going to look at
the Condominium Plan Act.
The Condominium Property Act.
Yes, Condominium.
And you are going to read
Act.
For us
Section
11 of the Act.
I'm going to highlight the major things that our viewers need to know. When we talk about what should accompany a plan, Under Section 11 of
You
the...
see, not just a plan. You should be specific that the condominium plan. Yes. So what accompanies a condominium plan is what
Okay.
we are talking about.
Ngambe nina musomesa wange wano. What I'm going to read to you, this is governed by Section 11 of the Condominium Property Act. I beg my pardon. Now, number one, a certificate of a registered surveyor. What we mean here that land should be surveyed by a surveyor who is registered and certified.
And he must make a report.
And he must make a report.
That is submitted to the registrar of lands.
Of lands, yes. B, or number two, certificate of local authority, meaning that we need here a physical planning report.
From the local authority.
From the local authority.
They
or
should
from the municipal.
Yes. They should certify that actually
microphone
this land exists, and that actually whatever you're talking about,
the development is allowed.
Yes.
Okay.
It is authentic.
It's in accordance with their laws.
Allowed. Yes.
Or the bylaws.
Very good.
So, by the way, it's very important, dear viewers. First, always before you do a development on the land, first run to the urban authorities and check with the physical planning officer to tell you what you're going to do. Is it allowed in that area?
Sure.
Many people always take it for granted. After all, this is my land. The Constitution gives a right to own land, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the Constitution gives you a right to own land, but the Constitution says you own it in perpetuity. So that means there's also another condition for you.
For example, there are structures that are not allowed in the town centers.
The town settings.
And you cannot just erect them just because you think you
have money.
you know.
Like establishing an industry in a residential area.
You cannot. There are things that really need you to be very critical and sensitive in regards to the law and also the bylaws.
Exactly.
Fine, there could be a law, but then there should be bylaws that govern particular areas or particular settings. And these bylaws differ. Yes, from place to place and, from region to region.
Oh, yes.
And also they vary basing on whether it is a city center or, a rural area, things like that.
Oh, okay. So, viewers, you need to understand that your condo can happen, but you need to visit the local authorities.
Yeah.
The physical planning officer, you go to the municipality, they take you to the physical planning authority, then they review your plan in a committee until they pass it on, they approve it. Once they approve it, then that's land. Then a certificate of an architecture should also be accompanied on your plan. Who made the plan? You understand?
You see, usually when those architects are drafting those plans, they first look at the land. And of course, putting in their mind or bearing in their minds the laws and the bylaws of particular areas, they also consider the authenticity of the building and whether or not the kind of structure that you want to raise is actually appropriate for the place that you want to put the
Michael, for your viewers, I'm not
at.
listening very well.
That is what actually is supposed to be done. That is why at all times they need an architect. A
certificate from an architecture, certified one.
True.
Yeah, because we have had, you have seen buildings in Kampala collapsing. We have seen people dying under the stalled buildings. That's why the law ensures that any plan to be accompanied with a certificate of an architecture is for the good of the people, the members who are going to live in, and the community surrounding. We don't want to lose people in the name of, I had my money, I can do what I want.
True.
So members, viewers, wherever you are, please, one thing I want to communicate to you is adhere with the principles and the laws governing the area.
Maybe to remind them that it is actually very possible You can have a condominium property anywhere you want.
In Uganda here.
Or anywhere you wish. You can have it in Masindi, you can have it deep down in my village in Namisindwa, you can have it in Kampala, you can have it in in Sironko, you can have it in Bulambuli. Now why am I talking about Sironko, Bulambuli, and why am I talking about my villages? Because someone would imagine such an arrangement is not possible for rural settings, but wow, it is very possible. Yes, provided you follow the laws that have been set, to guide you, and provided you have also approached your local leaders and, yes, approved you, you have the surveyor's report, things like that, which are actually basics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Chisoboka.
It is possible.
How economically is it valuable to the Ugandans here? They want to know.
Actually, if you have your money and you would want to invest in real estate, condominium property is the way to go. Ask me why. Number one, it is affordable. Okay. Regardless of how much money you have. Maybe you have money that cannot buy an entire building, but you have money that can buy 2 rooms or even 1 room. You can buy. You can also be a property owner with as low as you can afford. Okay. Secondly, it becomes easy to maintain because you are not alone. You have very many people that are maintaining the same property. If come to maintaining the compound, you do it together. Very good. How many tenants have laws that govern them with very few. Very few. You say my Matendo is here, he has children who are doing this, but I think in a condominium plan, in the condominium property arrangements, you are going to have your corporation, you are going to have your bylaws, and you are going to list out what exactly you expect of all the unit owners. So okay. If you can't have such an arrangement, what else do you want to have? For those who always say, the best way to go for a condominium. Yes, you own your property. I have told you, for as low as you can afford, you will own property. And then, I think it's also good, another advantage is, you own it in an urban setting. Security is a responsibility of everyone. No, security is everyone's responsibility. Whether in the village or in town, it is your responsibility as the condo owners. Now, I have a question, the last question for you. Why do you think the takeover of condominiums in Uganda has been at low rate? One, like I have told our people, ignorance. Yes. If you don't know about something, you will not benefit from it. You understand? Yeah. You see Chinese right now, they are very far with condominium properties, that they would even sell to you, centimeters of areas, They will sell to you an area of just centimeters, just because they have understood what it means. By condo. Yes, what it means to invest in condominium properties. You understand? But one thing that is barring our Ugandans is because they do not know about condominium properties. Okay. But today I have come to tell you about condominium properties. Next is our laws in Uganda. Sometimes you see the bureaucracy is just too much, and it gets, it gets worrying, and someone will just get disappointed, and they are like, I think this is not an area for me. You understand? But let me tell you one thing: if you carry on, if you push on, it is going to happen. It is possible. Do you mean now, by what you're saying, the government should wake up and take up an initiative to make awareness of these kind of developments? Actually, the government has done its own initiatives to introduce these properties to people, because you do not have the law, but you have the law that is governing. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to hear from you. Yeah, so it is now the duty of the learned colleagues, learned friends now to go back to, like what you're doing now, to the roots, like what I am doing now today. Not here alone. You understand? So like what I am doing, because me, I am here to educate the country, to educate our dear listeners,
Like Elkom
and
TV is
our
doing.
viewers. You understand? So I don't want to speak for you.
What about
No.
the company that is hosting us?
I am speaking for me.
And the company hosting us.
The company hosting us may only give us the platform, but it will not give you the platform when you do not come up and are willing to educate our people.
Thank
understand?
you very much.
So
Yeah,
we
welcome.
must have the zeal, the urge, you know, the, how do we call
The
it?
love to know,
The
to
love
love, to learn the
teach
knowledge.
our people, to transfer our knowledge. Let me tell you, when you die with your knowledge, it does not help. When you die with your knowledge, no one is going to benefit. But when you die after you have disseminated this information to people, they will say, okay, akawala ako kafa naye bambi katugamba kino kaali katubuulidde ng'eggwanga twakafunamu. You understand? So it does not help anything for you to be selfish. You have information about something, let the information out and let the, you know, the community know. Benefit from you.
Yes, dear viewers, we want to thank you. We want to thank you because you have been good viewers. Yeah. And I know there are some of you who have been listeners. Thank you for being listeners. We haven't yet seen a Q&A. That means people are only doing listening, and we believe you're understanding when you don't ask questions. We are here to serve the Elkem TV, all the shareholders, the stakeholders of this company. And we are ready to take on to teach you the matters of law. And I believe next week, the same time, same day, as God plans and wills, we shall be here to teach you about mortgages. Today morning, somebody came to me and was complaining about her mortgage. She mortgaged, she passed on a power of attorney for a daughter. And then the daughter connived with the bank, and they took a security of what she did not consent to. And now they came and spread the words of selling. Okay. I got hurt because this was a mother who has bred this girl from a child. And now the payback is, you understand? So I just feel like our people need to understand about the mortgages. So that when you're going to the bank to do anything, to put your property as a security, that's what we call mortgages. You need to understand we have registered mortgages and equitable mortgages. So next week when we come back here, for the interest of what I'm seeing in a society, we are going to teach you elaborately on mortgages, how they are registered, how effective are they, and how do you increase your mortgage from the bank. You
need to also remind our dear viewers that we are always available. You know, don't die with a situation that needs someone's knowledge or advice when we are here. We are here to serve you people. You see, we are lawyers, fine, but we are here to serve. We are also servants. You understand? Just reach us anywhere you find us. Anywhere you can find us. You can find me at Azinduka. That is where I sit. My door is always open. You can always reach me, ask any question about the law, or you can even reach Elkem Media, tell them I want to talk to Council Prudence. They will give you my contact.
And then they will value our contact.
They will give you my contact, and you'll be able to find me. I don't want you to die with something that is legal. Mark you, some of these things are very small that you even don't have to, to get worried about or even have sleepless nights over. So just reach us. Reach us at any time you feel like, and we'll help you. We are always at your service.
Wanyana. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, our dear viewers. Our time has come to an end, and we believe we have done a service to you. May the Lord bless you, keep you shining until we meet again. Amen. Shalom.